You hear on the big league television, the announcers, the color commentators, you hear on college games, you hear in high school that the kid lost his mechanics and he can't throw strikes. Well, there was a guy that I had played baseball for in the old AA league here in Akron. His name was Dick Schoonover. And Scooney, as we finally gave lessons to major leaguers and to my 7-year-old sons when they started. I didn't have any envision that they would be pitchers, but he taught them the mechanics of throwing a baseball. Real simple. And guess what? The one kid, Hermanson and Miller and Narkirk, they led college baseball in earned run average when Dick was their pitching coach at Kent. And he taught them this 5-piece fundamental I'm going to show you two. So when you trying to find a pitcher, and here are the mechanics that he used. Here's the pitching rubber, okay? We all, no matter what age, we still have pitching rubbers, right? Yeah, okay. So, and before I do that, let's just, what's that?
4.
Very good. What's that?
2.
Railroad. See the tracks? 2C. Until you get high school kids, that's probably what you should be. If you want to play with the circle change, yeah, that's okay. All right? But I'm going to grip 4-seamer. This is one. When I take a little knot, look what happened to my shoulders and my eyes. I'm up on top. 1, 2, on the inside of the rubber towards home plate. Okay, I still got my grip. Balance point. Separation. Throw. There's your 5-piece that if it's good enough for Dick Schoonover to teach in college, and those guys, when they went to the pros, would bring him out to Arizona or Florida so that he would look at their mechanics. So he had to be doing something right. But mechanics is the key to throwing, just like I told you. Why will my shortstop make bad throws? Feet are all messed up. Here are the mechanics. Okay, and I'm not Louis Tiant. Well, I hope you know who that is, Louis Tiant. You know, when he was looking up at the sky. And anyway, Cleveland had a good rookie that they let him go. But anyway, 1, 2, balance point. When my kids aren't throwing strikes, stay on your balance point a little longer. 1, 2, stay here. Separate. Look. And where's my foot pointing?
Catcher.
Where's my glove pointing?
Point.
And follow through. Older kids, a lot of times they're high in the strike zone, they gotta stay over their front foot longer. Over my knee. Scooney he'd watch a kid and then he'd come out and pull out his chalk and put a big plus. So that when I'm throwing and I'm not throwing strikes, look at your foot. My foot is either over here, short of, or here. Put a little plus where his natural foot, when he drives off that, always should go. So if he's a little left, he's probably left of his mark, on the right side of his mark. This is hard for me because I hated pitchers. My mentality was, I don't like that guy throwing that baseball at me, and I'm going to show it to him. But I like the guys that threw strikes on my team, so I got to like those pitching guys. But So Jim Farrell, who's the coach at the high school, Scooney coached him. And Farrell all the way made up to AAA with the Boston Red Sox before he blew his arm out. So all those guys were fundamentally sound. You don't throw the, and like today, if Kent State's recruiting a pitcher and they send Birkbeck out, who's the pitching coach now, has been there 19 years, pitched for Milwaukee and in Japan. Anyway, Berkey will go out, and when he comes back, he'll say, the kid was throwing 82. At the end of his freshman year, he'll be throwing in the high 80s. Mechanics. So, 1, 2, balance. Follow through. Pretty simple. That's all you want to complicate the art of throwing the baseball, especially with kids who are having a hard time throwing strikes. And a lot of times it's just this. So I'd line up all my pitchers. Okay, balance point. They get into it, then you see some of them falling. Okay, just keep, and well, look at his balance. He's still standing. It's a balance point. Okay, that slows everything down so your arm and your legs get in sync when you separate. Okay? Another drill. Go around, and when you separate, and if they're like this, turn them this way. If they got the glove here, get it up. It's all balance. Coach Barrett talked about balance. Bo talked about balance. I talked about it, now we're talking about it in, it's all, everything to do with your legs, balance. So you got a chance if you're always in balance. You got a kid throwing the ball and he's stepping it and he's throwing it, or he's here closing his, you got to get him back to square. And start little. You know, have him start here with a fielder or a catcher about where the guy with the gap sweatshirt is, and have him just with his mechanics. I should be able to throw a strike almost every time from this. Well, not 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds. Get their mechanics straightened out. Jimmy talked about sore arms. This pitcher doing all the wrong mechanics is going to have a sore arm. If he stays within himself, and coaches, you watch their pitch count or however the rule in your league is today, that always changes. But if you watch their pitch count and you know, well, I can send him out there, you know, he's a little over, but in practice, stop. Is that baseball game that important to ruin an 11-year-old's arm? Come on, guys. We're supposed to be out there for the good of these kids. Let them enjoy it. Okay, you know what the rule is? Hey, John's going to go out there and close it down for you. Whatever your rules are on pitch count, watch that. You know that? It's just something that the adult, you guys and lady, the adults, that's what you're there for. So make sure, and you'll only learn what's good for that individual pitcher if you spend some time with him in practice to see how he throws and where he starts having difficulties. Spend some time with him. Questions on pitching. That was very basic. I'd rather hit than pitch. But that's what Dick Schoonover would have told you. And he had a keen eye of, well, his Rango, did you see that? He's releasing it too late. I said, well, go tell him.
Two questions. Can you show that side throwing that way?
This way?
Yeah.
Sure. So here's the rubber. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1, 2, I've turned and gone the inside of the rubber, 3, 4, 5.
Second question is a lot of the H League, as soon as they start pitching, they don't go full windup, they'll just do the stretch.
Okay?
Can you show
Sure.
how you would do that?
So if I'm here, but H League, they can't advance, can they?
No.
No.
Okay, but they are more comfortable this way?
Think of it as an
Is it
F League or an E
Yes.
League right now. Think of it as an F League and E League right now where they can come off.
Okay, so if I'm in a stretch, then what I would do is, you know, when I'm taking my sign, I would just, and here, that's 1, I'm already in 2. Okay, I just go to my balance point and throw. If you got a runner and you're holding the guy on, okay, we don't worry about the balance point, we just throw.
The reason why I ask is H League, you don't have runners. You're not looking at signs. You're just worried about the kids getting it across the plate. A full windup is normally too much motion for the kid to do that. They're throwing wide.
Okay.
So that's why whenever my
it.
pitchers got wild, I told them go back to the
That makes
stretch.
sense if it's good for them, but was that a lot of motion when I just showed you the 5-piece?
When they're first learning to pitch.
Oh, I know.
That's
I know,
what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that's pretty less motion
basic.
than you know. Here's the big thing. When they start, you know, you make that little and this, then here you're right into that stretch.
Yeah, Coach, can I add something?
Sure.
The biggest thing with the younger little kids is, you watch them, man, you'll get all this. You know, all that stuff you got, right? Keep it simple. Right here, right here. This is it. That's all we need in a stretch. Same thing with his windup that he just showed you. Did you see him go over his head or anything like that? That's all gone by now. Okay? When he gets older, they're going to tell him, stop that. Somebody will have him stop it now. Okay? He's right here. He goes right here to the set. And let's go. All right? You don't see him. You know, in the old days, you know, they used to get rocking about 4 times, and, you know, all the way back here.
Or that back step.
You don't do that. Yeah, you don't do any of that anymore. You're just right here, here. You might rock just back a little bit. So that's one thing I was going to add after he was done is get him away from all the gyrations. Okay?
Which goes to your point.
Are you really in balance doing all that anyway? Do you think he's going to be down the line like Coach talked about if he's doing all that? Never going to happen. Same thing in the stretch. You'll see a lot of this. He's here down here. He's looking in. No. Okay? That does nothing for you. You're just right here, in balance. The other thing is you don't want him getting right here, the feet together like this.
Right.
Okay? He's not in balance, is he? Shoulder width. Get right here. So you can just pick it up and go. All right? Not here. He's stretched now here. How am I going to generate any power to the plate from here? All about shoulder width all the time. Balance, balance, balance.
You know, it's no different than if I'm hitting and I got the guy that wants to load because I look good and the stirrups are up to here. Well, we wore stirrups back then, but they're down, that's underneath your back spikes or however they wear it now. And he's moving here and the guy's just throwing fastballs by him. 0-2 count, stop all the motion. Short to the baseball. Same thing as this little rock, little turn. I'm imbalanced, and I'm going to throw.
Do you have any drills to kind of teach that? You know, because it's kind of hard as coaches to see exactly what the kids are doing wrong when they're doing it.
No baseball.
Right. Have him do it without the baseball, but everything else.
Draw the line.
Put the line where he's got to put his. All right? When he follows through, make sure that back foot comes up to. But here's the deal. Even if it wasn't an issue with the balance point, you tell a young pitcher, you got to stay on your balance point. What does he do? He focuses on this, and then all of a sudden he throws a strike. You know, obviously you want to teach him to throw to the catcher's glove. That's why if I got a lot of motion here, the target's moving. So
What they'll do when they get older, now you guys don't have this luxury. You'll see them shadow pitch all the time in front of mirrors, all the time. They're watching themselves. They're watching themselves do this and follow through, right in a mirror, right in front of them. We had mirrors at the high school.
Right.
When it was their off day, they pitched 50 pitches yesterday. Today, you're shadow.
Guess what? They got mirrors at home.
That's,
Go and throw 50 pitches in front of the mirror like we just did here tonight without the ball. So they understand, oh, when I get in that balance point, okay. Oh, I got to follow through with that. They'll be able to see that.
yeah, you can see it.
You know, a lot of times when we changed hitters, I was always back holding behind the hitter, and I always wanted the bat at 45 degrees. So when the kid put his hands back and his bat was up here, I'd grab it and put it, and I said, and he'd look. I said, you can't look. Guy's going to throw a pitch. Can you feel that? Go home and look at 45 degrees. And then he's seeing where that bat's supposed to be, and then he recognizes up here what 45 degrees means. They have to visualize it, then feel it, so that muscle memory can. And make sure, guys, the one thing I would tell you, make sure they have fun. You know, when you first start teaching on a tee and you got a guy struggling and then he whacks one, stop! How was that? He'll look at you and smile and say, that felt pretty good. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Let's hit the heck out of the baseball. That's what hitters want to do. So I hope any or all of this helped you. I appreciate the opportunity. Way back when I was teaching here in Cuyahoga Falls, believe it or not, that was a long time ago. But then I went into the business world. But I always still was close to the Kent State program. And I remember the one year that, I don't know if you know the name Danny Hall. Danny Hall was a Michigan assistant, came to Kent State. Then he's now 19, 20 years head coach at Georgia Tech. Danny Hall was in this gym going through the same 4 things we did, because we asked, they said, why don't you come in and go over well, you just got it. Danny Hall couldn't have done any better than what we did today. It's because it's the fundamentals. They don't change. Basic equals fun. And I don't know all the kids that I coached over the years, what influenced them one way or the other, but hopefully we gave them an opportunity to get excited about baseball so that they keep on playing. And that's, I think, what the key is for Cuyahoga Falls amateur baseball.
Yeah, I just want one thing I needed to add, and I should have brought this up during my session of hitting. Okay, and this is kind of a problem that I see, is when you do all this tee stuff that I showed you, and you do all the soft tossing, okay, when you get out in the field, and it's game time, okay, and we're in the box, everybody needs to not say one word to that hitter. Okay? Listen, you cannot think about where my arm is and where my feet are. You can't hit that way.
Right.
Okay? All you need to say as a coach, hey, let's go. Go, put the bat on, here we go. If at the end of the at-bat, you want to say, hey, you know, we worked on that. That's why you missed it. That's one thing. In the dugout. Okay?
Yep.
Tell the parent, Daddy, I don't need you coaching him right now. Okay? I need him to have a clear thought. You cannot think about hitting and hit the baseball.
Right.
You have to clear your head. At that point, you'll hear me coaching third base right now with my kids. See it and hit it. Let's go, boys. See it and hit it. Okay? You can't be wrapped up in, you got to hope that all that stuff you did at practice takes over in the game. You can't be, hey, man, your elbow's here, or hey, you're flying open. You don't, even you as coaches, please stay away from that, if I could give you one suggestion. Because if he starts thinking about, oh, where's my hands? He's not going to hit, period. He needs to be focused on one thing. See it come out of his hand, and let's hit it.
Watch the ball.
See it and hit it. See the ball hit the bat. Which, by the way, if they tell you they do it every time, they're lying. Okay? I don't know that I've saw 10 balls hit my bat ever in my whole career. Okay? I tried, but I'm too busy about flying open and getting out of there. I'm ready to go. All right? And one last thing I meant to, well, you guys said it, made me think of it. Remember how I was showing you about the stance? Okay? If you see this, stop it. Watch this bat head barrel. Get that barrel back here. Okay? Lift it straight up here. Here, we get A, B, C. Remember I was telling you guys about that? You'll get here, you'll get a big loopy swing. You can't get here from here. Especially if the ball's here. He never will get there. Get him here. Get that bat head here. Okay?
Any questions?
Any questions for any of us? Anything?
Thanks for taking your Saturday morning out. Good luck to you
Thanks,
this
guys.
season.
Hey,
You guys
thank you guys. Thank you.